Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, Eric Daniel Coughlin now presents to you an absolute must-see podcast of the world, Just My Thoughts. Now let's get started. Today's thought tracker we're going to be talking about is the NFL offseason, which only could be one thing, the quarterbacks. Number one quarterback we're going to talk about today is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo signed $67.5 million to the Las Vegas Raiders. You're thinking to yourself, why the Raiders? Well, why not the Raiders? The Raiders just got rid of Derek Carr. We'll be getting into that a little bit later. So they have the absolute need for a quarterback. He doesn't have to worry about, competing for his job. He's walking into the door, walking in the NFC, what is that? The NFC, AFC West as a starting quarterback. There you go. $67.5 million for Jimmy G, Baby Brady, Garoppolo. Good job for the Raiders, by the way. That's a steal and a half. If he plays all 3 years or if he only plays 1 year, it doesn't matter. The year he plays, all three, they will be successful seasons. Jimmy Garoppolo averages, this is not making it up. You can stat me if you want. His average QBR is 100. Think about that. He played underneath Tom Brady for 3 seasons, did nothing but take notes, get warm, learn the game, and then dominated. He played 6 years San Fran, all 6 seasons, successful. Good job. Quarterback number 2, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, to me, got a good deal. He signed 1 year, $6 million to go big for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's kind of like a prove-it deal. So this is what happens. He goes in there, already knows he's got the starting job. He doesn't have to compete for nobody or nothing. Just goes in there and wins. If he wins, he'll be worth more. And I think that will happen. So here's a little thing about him. He's going into a brand new situation. This is the 4th new team in the 3rd year. Okay, so last year he gets traded to Carolina Panthers. Mid-season, before trade deadline, they trade him to the Rams. And now the Rams are like, okay, season's over. Matthew Stafford's our guy, so we don't really have a fit for you. Now he's in Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good job to be bounced around, and still land, $6 million for 1 year. That's kind of a big deal if you ask me. You ask anybody. There's good quarterbacks signing, 3-year deals. So I meant $3 million deals. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Quarterback number 3, as I already mentioned, Derek Carr. So Derek Carr signs a 4-year deal, $150 million, to become the new quarterback franchise face of the New Orleans Saints. Is this good? If they want it to be. To me personally, I don't think Derek Carr's proven himself in the league. You look up his QBR, he's got nice numbers, but he's only been in the playoffs once. So you're the starting quarterback of your team, for 6 years. You go to the playoffs once and got put out in the first round. So not only did you make it, you barely made it, and then you got proved that you didn't belong. That's why you lost your job. Jimmy G is going to make you look bad because he's going to go out there and he's going to go to the playoffs probably 3 times. As long as he's the starting quarterback, they will go to the playoffs. Mark my words on that. But so, Saints, this is what you did. You competed for your division last year, did a fairly decent job, but you didn't know who your quarterback was, right? You bounced around between Andy Dalton. You bounced around between Jason Hill, who probably should have been your starter the whole time. He learning underneath Drew Brees. It made sense to me, but I'm not a Saints fan. So you guys got Derek Carr. You hope he's the answer. I don't think he's going to be. Maybe I'm wrong for you guys. Maybe you guys got a quarterback. I think this is what's going to happen. I think you guys are going to be exactly what you were last year, with high expectations, and Baker Mayfield's going to dance all over you. I think Baker Mayfield's going into that division as the best quarterback in that division. That includes Derek Carr, so that includes Andy Dalton. If in case you don't know, we're going to touch into that. Andy Dalton signed a 2-year deal to work out for Carolina Panthers in case their draft pick doesn't work out. No one knows who they're going to draft. They can draft, Bryce Young out of Alabama. They can draft C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. No one really knows until the draft happens. That's just what happens. So Andy Dalton's going in there to be a teacher, nonetheless. However, he's still in that division. And I don't see a rookie being better than Derek Carr or Baker Mayfield. Let's just be honest. And Atlanta's in trouble too. So Atlanta doesn't even know who their quarterback is. I don't think no one knows. Atlanta doesn't know. The world doesn't know who Atlanta's even announcing as their quarterback. So they're probably looking to draft one this year. Just keep an eye on that. In the case they do, you heard it from me first. How you doing? So that being said, Baker Mayfield is definitely already on paper. He's going to be the man of the hour for Tampa Bay, and he's going to be the man in that division. I hate to say, Derek Carr did not do New Orleans Saints any favors by going there. Mark my words. This is T, by the way. I'm a good Mississippi boy, drinks a lot of sweet tea. So, quarterback number 4, we are on Marcus Mariota. So this is interesting to me. I think it might be interesting to everyone who doesn't know. Marcus Mariota signed a 1-year, $4 million deal to be the backup to Jalen Hurts. That's correct. Marcus Mariota is going to the Philadelphia Eagles only to be a backup for about a year, just in case, hey, they go all the way and then he gets hurt in the playoffs, or, worst case scenario, they go out there and they get smashed the very first game of the year. He breaks his leg because he, moves around the pocket. He's a strong kid. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Actually, I think he's, of his generation, he's kind of up there, maybe in the top 10 of his generation. So, and that includes so pretty much anyone that's been in the league 6-7 years or less. So that's Patrick Mahomes, that's Mitch Trubisky. I'm putting them in that generational time, and I put him in the top 10. So Jalen Hurts, good job. So you got a new backup, Marcus Mariota, 1 year, $4 million. I think that's ridiculous. I think he looks at it as this: he doesn't have to worry about nothing, right? And he makes $4 million. That's not a lot of money if you're a professional football player, but a regular human being, $4 million is a lot of money to a lot of people. So good job for Marcus. I think Marcus is crazy myself. I don't know why he didn't look for a team that needs a quarterback. There's plenty of them. Like I said, Carolina Panthers, they could have got him. They didn't. Houston Texans could have got them. The Jets could have thrown their hats in the ring. Guys that all need quarterbacks did not go after Marcus Mariota. So the question is why? I do not know. Get into that. I'll do some homework and find out. Quarterback number 5. Kind of already been talking about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, 2-year, $8 million. So he makes $4 million a year. Same thing that we just talked about with Marcus Mariota. Same deal, but he gets it twice. Why? He's older. I don't understand that. And again, I don't think Carolina's looking to keep him around long. I think he's going to come in for training camp. He's going to whip the guy in shape. In case he's not ready to go, Andy will play, and then he's going to retire. He won't be there 2 years. If he does, maybe he stays the backup. Maybe he gets the young buck in shape. Maybe the young buck's ready to play. He hangs on just to make another $4 million, just sitting there making $4 million. Because let's just be honest, if you're not having to retire, why would you retire? That's the truth. So I think that might happen. He might play out. Andy Dalton might hang out 2 more years. He's not really that old, right? So in Cincinnati, he played, 9 years and then got traded. Then he comes straight to us from Cincinnati is a good question. When I say us, I'm talking about the Chicago Bears. I'll get into that later. So Andy Dalton came to the Bears for 2 seasons and then got traded away to the Saints for a season. So yeah, he's been around 13. This might be year 14, year 15 for Andy Dalton. Just guessing now, but I'm guessing it's 13, 14. So he might stick around both years for Carolina. And the last quarterback we're going to talk about, quarterback number 6, Case Keenum. In case you don't know who he is, about 6 years ago, he floated around in the NFC North like no one's business, became the starting quarterback for Minnesota Vikings, and screwed around and won the division. I don't even understand how it happened. Beat us twice, us as the Bears, and then he beat the Packers, and then he beat the Lions twice. Case Keenum is a very talented, very doable quarterback. That dude he's got mega arms, mega speed. He's older now. Case Keenum is entering his 13th year in the league. So, league-wise, I don't know age-wise. I don't know how that works. Maybe 33, 34. He might be my age, might be a little bit younger than me, but he played in the NFL, so he's definitely older than me. You know what I'm saying? So, Case Keenum plays now for the Houston Texans, 1 year, $8 million. So what Andy Dalton's making in 2 years, Case Keenum getting to make in 1 year, and he's well deserved. Like I just said, like I just statted you up and let you know who he is. He's a very doable guy. That dude can go in there and win games. So here's the thing about Houston Texans. They're probably more likely going to draft a quarterback. Again, if that happens, you heard it from me first. But Houston Texans, I expect them to draft a quarterback this year. So Case Keenum's going to go in there and try to whip the guy in shape. He's pretty much doing the same thing Andy Dalton is for the same amount of money, just less amount of time. And then probably going to retire a fat cat, right? He's going to sign 1 year, $8 million, go to Houston, eat seafood, get fat, retire. Good job, Case Keenum. Good job. All right, so that pretty much sums up everything I've got on the main tracker. But if you've got time to stick around, I've got a little bit on the back burner. And by the back burner, I am talking about the Chicago Bears all in general. So let's get to that. The Chicago Bears are in year 2 of a rebuild. Started everything off last year. What we had to do, we got a brand new manager, Ryan Poles. With that being said, Ryan Poles is like, hey, I want this to be my organization. I want this to be my team. So what does he do? He signs all new coaches, got a brand new head coach, Matt Eberflus, and then pretty much allowed Eberflus to tag along like his guy. So Eberflus, a lot of people didn't understand this last year. So our defensive coordinator was Eberflus's special teams coach because Eberflus was a defensive coordinator. He was not a head coach. He was last year was his first year as a head coach, and he did it for us. So good job for Ryan Poles for at least landscaping the organization. And on top of that, also he landscaped the team right off the bat. So right within the first 6 weeks, he's got to worry about Roquan Smith demanding 100. Listen, Roquan Smith was demanding 150 million, 5-year deal. What was pretty much all of our salary cap. And then on top of that, we also had to worry about Robert Quinn, who was demanding to stick around until he retired, which was Robert Quinn wanted another 2 years, and he wanted 20 million. He wanted 10 million a year just to retire. So this is what Ryan Poles does. He's not for that, right? He's like, first of all, this team's not that very good. He's like, I've got a young, talented quarterback with absolutely nothing to give him. So this is what we're going to do. I'm getting rid of you guys. Absolutely traded Robert Quinn for draft picks. That's all we got. Everyone's like, what the crap? All we got was draft picks. Yeah, that's what we got was draft picks. Then again, traded Roquan Smith, saved 150 million salary cap, which landed us to be the richest, the most team with salary cap starting free agency for this year. And he spent not even every dollar. I think we're floating around 20 million left. Free agency is just about drawing up, but he's re-landscaped the defense. He has got us, let's see, Terrell Edmonds, TJ Edwards. He also landed us Dylan Cole. He landed DJ Moore in a crazier situation that has absolutely nothing to do with free agency. We'll talk about that in a minute. Landed last year with one of those draft picks that we had from Philadelphia. He traded off, and everyone's like, what the crap? He got picks, and then he traded the picks. Yeah, he did, for Chase Claypool. Everyone's like, what's that? What's a big deal about that? Big deal is, so this is what was going on with Chase Claypool anyway. So he was in the situation with the Steelers where everybody was young. Everyone was trying to prove themselves, and he felt like he was the most talented guy on his team. But everyone's giving all the attention to, like, Pickens and all that. Everyone loves the one-handed catch crap. Odell Beckham Jr. made that crap famous. So everyone's after that. So he's not a flashy guy. He's a very old school guy, right? The guy's 6'4", the guy's 230 pounds. He's like a brick house. So he has the idea to play like Terrell Owens. Get in my way and I'll knock you down no matter what, I'm catching the ball. That is what Chase Claypool is, and that is what every Chicago Bears fan should want. That's what I want in a wide receiver. I want a guy that's got glue hands. I want a guy that's going to run somebody over. I want a guy that's not going to play around. You get in his face, he's going to move. He's going to get you out of his face. We'd had that with Brandon Marshall. We also had that with Marty Booker, and now we have that with Chase Claypool. We finally have a big body, physical dude that's not going to play around and is going to catch a lot of balls. Good job, Ryan Poles. Exactly what we need. This man's found a way to get it. So dumped off our defense, rebuilt it year 2. I mean, if we can't stop people from scoring, it's not because of the players. It would be because of the players. It's not because of the situation that Ryan Poles puts us in. All these dudes are best players on their teams, right? So Dylan Cole, 53 from Tennessee Titans, led the Titans in tackles last year. He's now our guy. Thank you for that, Ryan Poles. TJ Edwards was played for Philadelphia Eagles. So Eagles just coming off of a Super Bowl. So we got a guy that coming off of a Super Bowl playing defense. Again, good job, Ryan Poles. And then everyone knows who Edmonds is. Edmonds has been the Buffalo Bills' #1 guy since he's been drafted. He got drafted by the Bills, started as a rookie, started out there for 6 years. For whatever reasons, they didn't feel like he was worth what he was asking. And Ryan Poles like, I think you're worth what you're asking. Jumps in there, gets the guy. So like I said, our defense is going to be scary. I'm gonna just throw this out here before it even happens. I want everyone to understand that's what I think as a fan is what I want to see as a fan. So I want to see Jack Sanborn start all year long, who did a phenomenal job replacing Roquan Smith. He was an undrafted free agent. No one knew anything about the guy, and ended up as a Bear. So somebody knew something. Maybe Matt Eberflus seen that guy play some college ball. Who knows? Matt Eberflus used to be the coach of, or defensive coach for the Colts. So and Jack Sanborn played for Wisconsin. So it's all around the same area, all around the Great Lakes area. Obviously, Eberflus see the guy play. He's like, hey, we got to get this guy. No one got this guy. Let's give this guy a shot. Ryan Poles was on board. He's like, I trust you. You're my guy. And we ended up with a hell, and I say a hell of a linebacker. It's hard to fill the shoes with Roquan Smith. You think it's not going to be done. Well, we did it with someone that wasn't even drafted. So how you doing, Ryan Poles? I just about need more tea. So everyone's like, so you really think they're going to be that good? You guys only won 3 games last year. Ha ha ha. Joke's on you. Joke's on anyone that's not a Chicago Bears fan, and especially everyone who doesn't want to fear the Bears. So here's the truth about us. Yes, we did go 3-13. Okay, 9 of the 13 games that we lost were all one-score games. So flip that with a more talented defense. You flip that with a more improved offense. And when I say that, I mean this. We got DJ Moore for that #1 pick. How you doing? Also, like I just already mentioned, Chase Claypool will be a freak and will be a dominant stud all year next year. He will get to showcase everything he can do. How you doing? Darnell Mooney has a lot to prove, so we paid him already his extension. We drafted him. He's done good. He's been great. He made over 1,000 yards. We give him what he wanted. We give him the extension. Now he has to give us what we want. We want a stud. So, again, this is what I expect out of the Chicago Bears offense next year. You're going to hear it first from me. I think it's going to be the first time in history we have 3 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. Chase Claypool will be a 1,000-yard receiver. Darnell Mooney would be a 1,000-yard receiver. DJ Moore would be a 1,000-yard receiver. And Justin Fields will probably lead the league in touchdowns next year, and I'm not exaggerating this at all. You heard it from me first. Justin Fields will lead the league in touchdowns next year. We're going to be scary good. Now, are we still going to lose some games? Yeah, it happens. Why? Because you got division guys. You got guys that see you practice even though they're not supposed to be around the facility. The Vikings will tag us. I'm sorry. It's just going to happen. Green Bay Packers are going to tag us, especially if they don't lose Rodgers. They might tag us twice. I hate to admit that, but it's happened all my life. I'm 35 years old. We've been getting my ass kicked by the same damn team for 31 of the 35. So it is what it is. If Rodgers doesn't leave town, we can't beat those guys. I'm just saying the truth. And then, you know what? I hate to admit this, but this is scary truth. The Detroit Lions are no longer a trash team in the NFL. What? I said the Detroit Lions are no longer a trash team in the NFL. What? The Detroit Lions almost won the division last year, guys. They got a very, very, very good wide receiver. His name is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let me tell you, if you got to double cover that guy. If you don't double cover that guy, you're gonna regret it. And sometimes if you double cover him, he's still gonna catch the ball anyway because he's that damn good. Now here's the thing about the Bears. We got his little brother, big brother. I don't know. I know it's his brother. Equanimeous St. Brown. Those dudes are brothers. And let me tell you, I don't think we got the good one. I think the good one's in Detroit. That's exactly what I think. So. Gotta watch out for the Lions. The Lions have been sleeping for a long fucking time. They're waking up out of hibernation and they smacking people in the face. The guy I'm talking about, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he made the Pro Bowl. So I'm just saying, the Lions are making Pro Bowls now, guys. Our division is ours for the taking. All thank you to Matthew Eberflus. All thank you to Ryan Poles. You guys are doing an amazing job. I hope both of you guys stick around in my lifetime for at least a decade. If you've done this in 2 years, I'm ready to see what you can do with 10. So I'm ready to see a title. I'm ready to see NFC champions, the Chicago Bears. NFL champions, the Chicago Bears. I'm ready for that. I've been primed for that for a long time. I got robbed of that a couple of times. I thought Mitch was going to do it 2018. Everyone hates Mitch, but I absolutely love him. I think the kid's talented. However, he lost because Cody Parkey's double doink, right? So we didn't win that. And then, 2005, 2006, we didn't win because Rex Grossman. What? His name says it all, Rex Grossman. What'd he do? He threw about 5 interceptions in a Super Bowl. Is what he did. And then, the brilliant mind of the Indianapolis Colts not kicking it to Devin Hester. They already know every time you kick it to him, he's bringing it to the show. So, long story short, we didn't win a title that year. Yeah, we hadn't won a title in a long time. We did win the division, in 2012 underneath Jay Cutler. Everyone always wants to brag on Jay Cutler. Here's the thing. I got a question for all the Chicago Bears fans because I have to know this. Why does everyone hate the guy? If you look up Chicago Bears history, he leads us in touchdowns. He leads us in passing yards. He leads us in literally everything. The best quarterback we've ever had in our franchise, Jay Cutler, and everyone seems to hate the guy. Get over yourselves. It's ridiculous. Give us man his dues. The man was brilliant. And I'm telling you something. If you didn't enjoy watching Jay Cutler throw the ball to Brandon Marshall in 2015, 16, 17, I don't know if you enjoy football at all. If you didn't like what he did with Martellus Bennett coming over from Dallas, again, I don't know what you see yourself as. I don't know how you see yourself a Chicago Bear fan. That being said, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you like what you see, hashtag me, Erick Daniel Coughlin, hashtag Coughlin Pride.